Nishreen Parekh, founder of Yoga Strength, an international physique athlete, a fitness and a professional bodybuilder at the age of 53. और आप मुझे सुन रहे हैं on Candid Talks with Bharat V.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Candid Talks with Bharat V. This is Bharat Vatsa, your host of the show, and in today's episode, we will be talking to Nishreen Parekh, who is 53 years young. Yes, you heard me right, 53 years young. She is founder of Yoga Strength, an international physique athlete, a fitness and a professional bodybuilder. Please do listen to this episode till the end of the show. Before we begin, please do not forget to subscribe to this podcast, and you can connect with me on my Facebook page at Candid Talks with Bharat V. So let's welcome Nishreen Parekh.
There's 1,000 points of light tonight, but nothing can be seen.
Hi Nishreen, welcome to Candid Talks with Bharat V. Thank you so much, for taking out time to join us today on the show. How are you doing?
Namaste, Bharat, and namaste to everyone who's hearing me. I am good. Through this lockdown, I guess we all are going through our own situations, but we're all trying to come out strongly.
Yeah. So, Nishreen, since you are into fitness, I'll start off with that part first. It's always said that you are a woman who has a fitness bug inside you, right? And you got into fitness at the age of 15. And at that age, mostly people think about their career, what they want to be, what they want to do, what they want to become. So what made you get into fitness? I mean, did you take up fitness as your career?
There were no plans of taking up fitness as my career, but I was basically in school when I enrolled for the karate class, and I had no clue that I would go on to becoming a black belt.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I met my husband there, and then that was the point that I wanted to hang on in that class so that I could get to know him better. And then that went on for a few years until both of us got our black belts in 1987.
Okay.
So that fitness that started in 1982, we got our black belts in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
And 1990, we decided to take a plunge and get married.
Okay.
So that's been the journey. And so it started with fitness and us being together. And even till now, we're married for like 30 years. But today morning also, we both had a partner workout together.
Wow.
So either we are doing martial art practice or we are doing weight training together. And we have like a house now through lockdown with all the equipment that you can think about that we've stored over these years. Every day something comes out and we are like, okay, let's do this today. Let's do this today. So that's what it's been like. And background has been studying psychology.
Okay.
So I was very, very keen to be a counselor. But I think I counsel people all the time now, but it's more like you need to get your act together, get more fit,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
It's more kind of a health counseling now.
Yeah, it's completely health counseling.
Health or fitness counseling, I would say. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So when you turned 50, you wanted to do something which you never did or never ever thought that you would be doing it. You stepped up on a stage in a bikini, braved yourself to do a ramp walk. You did T-walks, quarter turns. So tell us something about that experience of yours. I mean, how was that experience and what made you do that?
The former years of being married, I had my kids and they were very close together. Like I had a gap of 1 year, 4 months between both my children.
Okay.
And there was a time when I would have literally no time. It's like as good as handling twins. There was like driving them back and forth and all the school meetings. It's always hands-on, taking them to the gymnastic class. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time taking care of the home and the family, and I have in-laws at home even now. So, and my own parents. So I was trying to be a good, very efficient at every role that I was playing. Okay. And when I turned 50, this was a gift from my kids. They said, "Mom, you've been like the best you could be for everyone that you've known. Wow. Now take this time, take this opportunity now to live your life, doing what you think you can do best. And since you've always been so fit, you might as well take that up as a professional." So I had two choices of becoming a model. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was because I was also in the finals for the Glad Rags Mrs. India. Okay. So I was very keen that should I do modeling or should I get into a model physique? That's like a kind of a bodybuilding thing. Mm-hmm. So between the two, I said, let me go for both. So I went for Glad Rags, came in last final 20. And I also went to Delhi on my birthday when I turned just like 50. I was on stage and I did the Miss India fitness competition. Okay. So, we had to do the bench press, a deadlift, like plank holds, push-ups, like maximum push-ups in 1 minute. So I did really, really well there also. And my family had come with me and they said that, seriously, this is what you need to do now. So I got back and then we had a Body Power Expo happening in Mumbai. And they have these two, Fit Factor and Jirai, Bikini Diva. So I went up for both of them. Okay. And I was the only one at my age. And when I walked in, they thought my daughter was participating. But then I changed into the bikini and they were like, okay, it's you. Okay. I said, yeah, I'm going up for this. So there were moms dressing up their daughters. And here I was, my daughter was dressing me up. It was my first time and it felt like it was like a very different experience, but I was, like in complete awe of what was happening in that moment. Yeah. And that is what is very, very novel for us to feel. Right. So I felt really nice and I felt very good because the kind of respect that I got when I was on stage, I got the maximum applause. Okay. They called me alone from this, like 30, 40 contestants. They called me alone and they gave me a mic and they said, could you please address the crowd? Okay. So I was very excited and it felt really nice. So it's a respect I got that inspires me to push myself to work more harder.
Amazing. So what was the kind of response that you got, when you were on the stage, especially from your family? I believe even your family were there, right?
Yeah, they're always there. Like if I'm traveling for my world championships or Asian championships, it's not just me going alone, it's my mom. Okay. I mean, my kids want to come along and my husband's along. So it's always like a family outing, yeah. Nice. It's just that for those 8 days that I am in a championship, I am completely on a very strict diet of just, like, I can't eat anything that they can enjoy. So even if I'm in Korea, I will have to only eat what I can eat. And that's like boiled food for 8 days. So when I finish, then they take me on a treat for a chocolate cake, which I very gladly have.
8 days boiled food. I can't even imagine.
It is no salt, nothing. I just put lots of pepper and lemon and I eat it up like a quiet girl with no complaints.
So you were born in a Gujarati family, if I am correct.
I am born in a Bori family. That's Saudi Bora. Okay. So it's more Islamic based.
So Yeah, sorry to interrupt. So, with that kind of a, environment around you, you never faced challenge, when you got into this field. Did you face any, not from your family, obviously they are very much supportive, but from your surroundings, the people around you?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, like I'm now married to a Gujarati Jain,
Okay.
and they come from the Palanpur sect of Gujarat,
Yeah.
and they're all mostly into diamonds, and they're all very affluent people.
Okay.
So I don't think that they are that very conventional type, and they are very open. So in fact, they had like a felicitation,
Mhm.
a big felicitation for me for my achievements, which is nice because it was attended by the entire community in a big hall, and I was like
Right.
really honored. Yeah. So
Uh,
I've got
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of support.
Okay. Yeah, your
A lot of
daughters.
support.
You have daughters, or you have
I have
boy
I have
as
a
well.
daughter who's extremely pretty, and she's a gymnast.
Okay.
And if you see my Instagram post
Okay.
and my Facebook post, you will see her. She's doing all the cartwheels on the terrace, and she's turning 27. She's 27, and my son's
So
29. So
you are also
both my kids,
okay. So they must be
both my
proud of
kids are gymnasts. Yeah.
they must be proud of their mother. That
They
whatever she
are,
is today.
you can't, like, they are very, very proud of me, extremely proud of me. And because, all their friends will come and say, "Yeah, your mom is so fit, your mom is so fit. Oh my God, look at her, look at her." So, when somebody comes and tells me about my kids, your kids are so fit. I mean, you have the most prettiest daughter and the
Yeah.
most good looking son. I feel very proud as a mother.
Obviously, yeah.
So
Obviously.
it's nice, yeah.
Did your children's friend ever say that you don't look like their mom? You look like their elder sister or something like that.
I look like the older sister. I do look like the older sister.
Okay. Okay.
I take pains to look like that also.
Okay.
Something to do with genetics, but it's a lot of effort one needs to put in if they want to look fit. I mean, it
I
doesn't
can
come
bet.
easy.
I can bet. I mean, it takes
So
hell
I'm
lot
just
of yeah.
yeah, I'm just hoping that the whole world, everybody would be an athlete. So this world would be like a really nice, fit place. Yeah.
So, Nishreen, being into fitness is one thing, and to become a bodybuilder, that is altogether, a different level. So, what made you decide that you want actually to get into a bodybuilding genre?
I feel that, that somebody has to be the first one.
Okay.
Because then you are leading way for others.
Mhm.
So when I go up on stage, I don't have anybody at my age, right up to the world championships. Okay. So right from regionals all the way to world, there is nobody in the category. So I'm like hoping that there are men, of course, they have masters category for men, but women, they have just an open category.
Okay.
So I'm like hoping that I can inspire a lot more women to come up for something like this, because more than anything, you will be very disciplined. You'll be very disciplined with your lifestyle.
Right.
And if you can do that, you are an achiever. And you're setting up setting up a lot
Definitely.
of pathways for others.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I'm just setting up pathways. That's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Very nice. So you also, did join Talwar's course as a student, but in your very first class itself, I mean, they offered you to become an instructor, I believe. This can you tell us something about this incident? And you continued with them for the entire 14 years of your life.
Yeah. The dojo is a karate class, and when you are a karateka, when you come to a level like where you get your brown belt or something, you have to assist in teaching.
Okay.
So I had to assist in teaching my sensei, my teacher,
right,
since I was very, very young, like maybe 16, 17. That's when I started teaching. So he would send me to Manekji Cooper School at Juhu, and I would go to the Air India to teach the flight crew. And I would be teaching self-defense and karate, basic karate. So teaching for me came in, and so like, when I got married and I didn't have time to go back to my karate class, which was in the evening, because I'd be like feeding dinners to the family, kids are small. So Talwarkars was in my compound at Warden Road, Beach Candy. And I went as a student. I paid up for the, to do an aerobic class. And my first class, Asha Shelekar is a woman who was a part of Talwarkars.
Okay.
She said that, Nishreen, I think that you would be very good as a teacher. And why don't you just take up to taking a class yourself, because you seem to know a lot and it would be very nice if you can impart it to the students. So I told her, I said, I'm a student of life, even till now, I've never stopped. I'm like, everybody's a teacher for me. So I'm like, okay, fine. I really don't mind. If you think I can do it, I'll do it. So I started off teaching a class, and within the first month, I had 25 students in my class.
Okay.
And I was leading the class, so I had to put in like 150% to take out 100% from them.
Okay.
So it was really good fun because people would actually be standing outside the glass door to see what an enthusiastic class this is, So there was like good fun, good music, dance aerobics happening, sometimes kickboxing happening, a whole lot of different versatile training happening in that room.
And this was at what age?
This happened in 1990.
Okay.
Right, for like 10 years at Talwarkars and then 4 years at Moksh, which is Pritish Nandi's place. That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Okay.
And
I think after that, during that time only, you founded Yoga Strength, or it was after that?
Yoga Strength came about when I first joined the inner engineering program with Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev.
Okay.
And I was very, very taken into the, into the principles of yoga that he had to talk about. And I said I would like to go deeper into the study of yoga. So I got myself a year's study at the Kevalya Dham, which is located in Marine Drive in Mumbai. And I'd already finished my graduation. So this was a postgrad.
Okay.
So it was a year's program followed by 6 months of internship.
Okay.
So that's when I studied the philosophy of yoga along with the practical part, the asana part. So there was asana, pranayam, and a lot of Shuddhi Kriyas, Jal Neti, Sutra Neti, and all of that to do, along with the philosophy of yoga, Samkhya philosophy, which was like, it blew my mind away completely.
Okay.
So finished with that and then went on to doing an advanced, another 1 year therapy.
Oh.
But while I was doing all this, my kids at that time were away in a boarding school. So I had a lot of time to myself.
Okay.
So I said, okay, they're studying there, I can study here.
Okay.
So that's how. And then I said, okay, fine. So then Yoga Strength Warriors is my baby. I'm the founder of it in Mumbai. And it has a mix of martial art, Pilates, strength training. So it's my experience over all the years of teaching that I pour out in my class.
Okay.
And every class is never the same. It's always different. It just comes out from my head because people say, don't you even write down things? I'm like, no, it's all here.
So that was actually my another question. What exactly do you teach in Yoga Strength? I believe you just answered that. So do you also teach them how to do bodybuilding and all that stuff as well?
We do weight training. It's very lightweight training. I don't use heavy weights in the class. I have a lot of men and women coming in my class, but they are from the general population who are not out here to become athletes. They just want to be very strong. They want to have great energy levels.
Okay.
So this one does it for them. Like there are people who've come, they have been referred by physiotherapists to come to my class. And literally, they tell me that we used to have frozen shoulders. We used to have a slip disc. It's always past. They don't have it anymore.
Oh, okay.
They just don't have it. Because we are doing a complete training where, it's flexibility, strength, endurance, all three.
Okay.
So, and with a full awareness of your mind, body, breath. That is
Okay.
what Yoga Strength Warriors is. And Warriors is added on now because I feel we are all fighting our battles.
Right.
And you never know what battle it is, but you're fighting a battle inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
want to emerge as a victorious warrior. So that's why
Absolutely.
Yoga Strength Warrior. Fight your
Understood.
battles on the mat. You got a whole day. You're winning it all through.
Okay. So normally you take people in your class who are purely coming to become fit, or do you also welcome those kind of people who come there to kind of get over their injuries or some kind of wellness, like they are going through some trauma, or they're going through some illness, and they want to come and do yoga and get recover from that? So do you entertain those kind of people as well?
I have, in population wise, I have people who have some kind of physiological, like maybe they are diabetic or all of, hypertension or something. I
Okay.
do have, but also very special population, like somebody had autism. Okay, then that would be a one-to-one training,
Right.
or like paralysis. Again,
Right.
very difficult to cope in a group class.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that would require one-to-one training, which
Right.
is again, and a lot of times it's motivation for them.
Yeah.
So being very, very, you have to be very empathized. I mean, like, you have to be an empath for them,
Right.
because only then will you understand what they go through. So I can manage that pretty well. So that's
Okay.
nice.
Now, that was the reason, why I was asking, because obviously for these kind of segments, you will have to have a different sort of training for everyone. I mean,
Yeah,
for these
like
kind
I had a very affluent person of Mumbai, Miss Swati Piramal,
okay.
and she was very sweet enough to come home to my house to do her class, and she did come for like 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
And literally, she messaged me that I'm so grateful to you that for the first time in my life, I have actually walked at the airport with my own bags, because I've always been wheelchaired into the
Wow.
craft.
Oh,
So, and it was a lot of talk that I had to talk to her, that, you have everything in the world. Why would you give yourself to illness? So just start changing the food around. She changed a lot of food around, and she started to exercise. Like, her weight would be very little, but she started to actually do bicep. She started to work on different parts of the body, becoming aware of every muscle that
Okay.
she could strengthen, and she could actually walk that. So
Okay.
I'm very, very happy.
okay. So
about
you
certain
also
people who are
basically,
really,
so you basically take care of the
Therapy
diet
also,
as well.
yes.
Diet as well.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I've studied diet and nutrition as a postgrad,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I do.
That's awesome. So you always, loved sport. And as you said, you took up karate in 1982, you got your black belt in 87, and that is when you met your husband. And I guess in 90s, you got married. So did you ever think of taking up this sport as your profession at any point of time? I mean, obviously at that point of time, you must have taken it as your passion towards, your liking towards your these kind of sports. But did it ever come to your mind that, okay, I want to become a national champion, or I want to go and, represent India, in these kind of games or something like that?
I'm one person who is very fortunate to like always in gratitude because of God's grace, But I put in the best in each moment of my life, regardless, okay? Whether I am cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm working out, I put in my best. So every time I put in my best, the next moment for me is better than the last one.
Okay.
So in this way, I have never planned my life. I've never planned on meeting my husband, or I never planned on getting married. Nothing.
Yeah.
I am one person who will just go with the flow.
Understand.
As you walk, the doors open, you walk through. Don't stand there and think. Never.
Right.
I
Yeah.
never think.
Okay.
I mean, every moment is coming to you go ahead, do your best this moment. Your next moment is done.
So you're just
It's
walking
sorted.
and everything, whatever is coming your way, every
It happens,
opportunity,
yeah.
everything is
Every
falling into
opportunity.
place and you're just grabbing that opportunity.
I am just walking through it with my best, in my best mental state as well as my physical state.
I think that's the best way to do it, because if you keep on thinking too much, because nowadays, as we keep on hearing, so much sadness and so much sad news that we can keep on hearing about, nowadays. So I think if you get into that kind of a mental frame, then obviously you are more prone to get into that kind of that kind of dimension.
Like, it's lockdown right now. So how can we be so worried that, oh, COVID is going to come? I mean, no, please.
Absolutely. So apart from this, what other sports do you like to follow? Maybe you're not doing it, but follow as in, like tennis or cricket.
I am not a TV person in the first place. So if you are not practicing yourself, you have to watch others on the TV. So I'm one person who's not going to sit back and watch a cricket match or a rugby match or a football. No. So I'm not an avid TV person, but I would like to be a part of that. Like, there is a yoga championship that can come up. Okay, so they asked me, would you like to be a judge? I said, why? What am I going to do sitting on that side? I'd rather be on stage being an athlete.
Right.
So I told him, I said, I would participate.
Right.
And they will have a master's category. And there are like tough asanas to do. I'll go ahead and do it. I may not be the best. I don't say I'm going to be the best. But I cannot sit back and just, I'm not a viewer, sorry.
Right. Okay.
I'm a person who does things, an action person.
Okay.
Put me on a rugby
वो बोलते हैं ना कर्म योगी.
Yeah, so put me on a rugby field, I'll play whatever rugby I know. But don't make me sit in the stand. That's not my state.
So I believe you also ride a bike, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yes. I used to have a Bobby Rajdoot 175cc.
Wow.
Years ago, I forced my daddy to buy it for me. And he's like, you know how to ride a bike? I said, yeah, I know how to ride a bike. And yeah, cycle ka ठिकाना नहीं था. I didn't know how to ride a cycle.
Okay.
So he said, "Chal le lo." So this was long time back, 1980s.
Do you still own those bikes?
I sold it for $600 to the kabadi wala. 600 rupees.
Man.
I wish I'd at least kept the number plate. It was an MMJ 1555. I can't forget it. But that bike was very precious because I would go to college on it, and I was not, as I told you, I didn't know how to cycle. So there's a friend standing on the bus stop. She looked at me. I'm like, I can't take you double seat. I can barely manage myself. Okay, so for years, I would just go single riding till I got confident to pull a friend.
Right.
And then fine. But it was, bike riding has been a part of my life. And then now, after all these years, I was waiting for a bike where my feet can touch. So I found a Java. So I am now a proud owner of a Java classic bike.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a Java.
Okay.
And my husband has a Harley Davidson.
Okay.
1700cc.
Okay.
Where I don't want to touch any part of it. I'd rather be a pillion.
Hairy. Yeah.
Pillion rider is great.
So have you done any long rides? Do you have any memorable ride which you did, like, Leh Ladakh or any other?
No. No.
Any plans to do that?
I am very scared. The safety factor of what used to be there earlier is no more existing in the streets of Mumbai. There are those potholes. There are these, like it's not safe as it was years ago. Trust me, definitely. For all two-wheelers. And the two-wheelers somehow, like you need to go to Ladakh. You have to get beyond, what is that, Dahisar.
Yeah.
And I think I'm harrowed by the time I get to Dahisar.
No, the reason I asked because, you are a kind of a go-getter person, and you like to do things. Yeah, that's the reason I thought.
I'm a very safe person.
Okay.
I will not do anything to risk my life.
No, but then, Okay, you can
Like,
wear all the gears and everything, and then you can still go ahead and do the
yeah,
biking.
I could do that. I could think about it. Maybe when I go to Sikkim, a friend's been calling me.
Okay.
If I go there, tell him I'm going to ride your bike. I'm not riding all the way from Mumbai. I'm just
Okay.
going to take his bike and go off.
Probably it's easy, to do it if you're riding in a group rather than doing it alone.
Yeah,
Maybe. Yeah.
as like my husband rides from here to Goa, they're all Harley riders, so they all
Right.
go. But I take the flight and go to Goa.
You don't even go with him as a pillion?
No, I can't sit like that for like 18 hours. Oh my God. No,
Okay.
I'll fly down to Goa.
Okay, coming back to your domain, Nishreen. So, on a daily basis, like as you said a few minutes back, that today also you did your workout sessions. So, what special precautions do you take in your daily regime, to stay fit as a yoga instructor, and more importantly, as a bodybuilder?
I am very, very particular about my food. So even through lockdown, I'm like, I won't like give into any food that one does, like for me, taste is not important. It's
Okay.
what I put in my body and what does it do to my body. Because I see most of the times people are like, oh, this is not tasty. I can't eat this. I'm like, no. And they look at me and like, how do you eat the same food every day? I
Right.
eat the same food every day.
Mhm.
I mean, through lockdown, I know that right now there is going to be no scope of a gym opening. There's going to be no
Right.
scope of any competitions coming up. But
Right.
it's just never give up. No, I'm still at it. I'm still working really hard,
Okay.
and
So
I
you
feel very
cook your own
disciplined.
food? You cook your own food?
I have it's called the Being Healthy Kitchen.
Okay.
They send me my meals every day because I don't have any masalas.
Okay.
So it's all like mirchi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
very very bland food. Very bland food.
So how do you manage when you travel for the competitions and all?
When we travel for competition, we have this very, very, very long flights.
Mhm.
I try and pack 1 or 2 meals if I can, so I eat them on flight.
Okay.
If not, then any which ways they are on depletion. So the lesser the food goes in, the more leaner, and the abs come out even better. So then
Okay.
you look at the positive side. Ke kuch nahi mila to hanta nahi yaar. I look a
Okay.
little better,
Right.
but no
right.
flight foods, no on board meals, nothing.
So,
All that. I'm crazily disciplined. I mean, people sometimes like, why are you like this? I'm like, I can't help it.
but tell
I
me
have a
something.
reputation to protect.
Is it really that hard to continue to be a disciplined person? I mean, कभी कभार तो आपको ऐसा दिमाग में आता होगा कि यार चलो आज मैं थोड़ा cheating कर लेती हूँ. Today let me take it easy. Something like that.
I don't know. It doesn't happen for me because I feel like if I eat something wrong, it's just going to hamper my system.
Mhm.
And I don't believe in
Okay.
no.
Okay. So like you say that you have that kida in you to keep on doing something new. What else do you have in your mind that you want to do or you want to achieve?
I want to start singing back again.
Oh, you mean you used to sing earlier?
I used to sing and I was a good singer until something happened and I'm like, I'm not singing anymore. I'm not listening to any music anymore. So, like my daughter's been a DJ through lockdown also.
Wow.
So I make an attempt that I need to be there. And obviously the music is the genre of music she plays is reggaeton, but
Mhm.
I'm trying to learn.
Okay.
So the next thing on the card is I want to be a DJ.
Okay. I think this lockdown is going to, teach us many more things or probably,
Yes,
bring
yes.
out many more wish lists that we had in our mind.
Yeah. So it'll be like a DJ who's also a model physique athlete and also a gray haired woman
All rounder.
belonging to the gray haired gang like you. We are all in the same gang.
Seriously, I mean, I'm just waiting for this lockdown to be over because I am not able to do my biking right now. I am not able to do, participate any events, any shows. I'm not able to, by the way, I do DJ as well,
Oh, okay. So I think it comes together when you turn gray, you become a DJ.
Yes. So apart from being, a part of Grey Gang, my wife is into organizing the fashion shows. So I do her DJing every time. Ghar ki
wow,
morga,
nice.
that free fund ka labor mil jata hai. You don't have to pay anybody else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like I can't go dancing and clubbing. So I say like Saturday night, why don't you just play live music? I can dance to it in my room or anywhere. Just come and do a
Right.
cameo and run away,
So even I do that, with my family, with my distant relatives. Every Sunday we do online DJ party, and I host the DJ for them. So it's
So
fun
I'm
actually.
going to be part of that also now. I join you on Saturday nights.
Definitely.
We can all dance in our own homes.
Absolutely. Awesome. This has been a great conversation now, Nishreen. So who is your main support, behind who Nishreen Parekh is today?
My main support is my family, for sure. I mean, my in-laws are completely giving me a free hand to do what I want in my life. And that is something that not everybody is fortunate, but they're so understanding. They're just proud of me. They're like, so I guess, if every family is like, find out, tap what's your, your ace point, and
Yeah.
each one can support the other partner, and you can really go to places. I mean, we don't need to sit back and
Right.
wait like, oh, I could have done this in my life. Do it. You don't get another chance. So don't wait, and help your family members. If you think
Absolutely.
they have a talent, let them come out with
Yeah,
it.
I think you should
Lockdown is the best time.
encourage each other,
Very important.
like your kids did to you, because I think basis
Yes,
whatever
yes.
you've said today, I believe the credit goes to them. Basically,
Definitely, yes.
because of them, you took this initiative to be what
Yeah, I
you
mean,
are
like,
today.
Yeah, and my husband's very supportive. He's like every competition I go for
Yeah.
anywhere, he's always there. And there are times when my daughter is not able to accompany us. So he's the one who will put my tan, put my makeup, help me out as much as he can.
Even the makeup, wow.
Yeah, like mascara. And sometimes you can't, you're so stressed. So
Yeah.
like, just put something more. So you're like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
That's
The,
nice.
the tanning is the worst part, because it's like, you have to really look like literally 8 shades darker than this.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any video recording of your husband doing your makeup?
I have, yes. I have him putting the tan. Then I have some, like where he's just putting the mascara. And one day we both struggling to put the, those fake,
Yeah.
what do you call, lenses. Both of us couldn't manage. We're like, oh my God, now forget it.
It must have taken him a lot of, practice to do that. I mean,
He's getting good at it. He's
okay.
getting good at it, yeah.
So you, Nishreen, you just said, a few minutes back that you were at that stage wherein you were deciding whether you want to get into modeling or you want to get into, this side of the career or passion. So what exactly made you not to get into modeling? I mean, because nowadays most of the people, by modeling I mean full-fledged full-fledged model, like the models that we have nowadays. We see everyone taking up modeling as in purely modeling, and they do yoga, they do exercise for themselves to stay fit, but not as a passion. They follow modeling as their passion. You got what I mean to ask, right?
I kind of understand what you're trying to say is that they're doing it to look good for their particular profession.
Yeah.
But whereas I took this up as a profession, I took up being a physique athlete.
Correct.
But
correct.
because I'm also a physique athlete, and like I'm very active on Instagram as well as Facebook. So I have done a number of ads, and the ads that I've done are pretty good. Like the last one I've done, which was an ad for Adidas, which is not released, but I've seen the ad. And
okay.
just before COVID, the entire billboards were going to be up with it.
Okay.
But it is me in like, and it is like, again, defy aging. And it was in Chandigarh, and the shots are amazingly good. Like the muscle work, they've caught me in a great frame. So, and then the Shopper Stop ad was that I also have done is, marrying a younger man in the ad, like breaking the barriers.
Right.
So, and then there was like, there was an ad with Amitabh Bachchan as like sitting around as friends. So it's not that I'm not modeling.
Okay.
I am modeling. So, but it's not like I don't run after the ads.
Right.
If they feel that I don't look like a stereotype, like a housewife, like, like I would like to look like one, but I can't. So, maybe,
so basically I'll say, I'll probably, sorry to interrupt. Probably I'll just categorize that, we are more into, ads kind of a modeling, but not as in the beauty pageants and other fashion shows that typically keep on happening around us now.
No, because maybe they haven't discovered me as yet. But if they do, then you better tell your wife about me. So the next time we have ramp walk on it.
Yeah.
Because,
awesome.
Might as well. I mean, I can explore everything in life.
So do you have these ads, whatever you have done in the past? Obviously, Adidas is not yet up right now, but the previous ones, they are on their Facebook page or
on my Facebook and my Instagram page.
Okay.
Yes. I did one with Dhoni for TVS bikes.
Okay.
With Amitabh Bachchan for Green Valley Tea.
Okay.
Then there was one with Shraddha Kapoor.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what do you have to... Yeah, sorry, go on.
Waiting for Shah Rukh and Amir to discover that there's a woman in their age group and they don't have to go around those running trees with younger girls.
So probably, they'll have to match your level first to, do things with you, to come into films or to come, in ads with you. They'll have to probably match your physique.
So as they say, the Grey Gang is about to make a movie.
Yeah.
And they're going to take me and the lead woman.
Yeah, those discussions are still on. It's unfortunately not yet taken up. So even I'm waiting for that. So let's see when it comes up. Amazing. And recently, the entire Grey Gang, they have formed a separate group in which we all are a part, of all the beardos, so.
I won't fit in there. No way. I can't get up here.
Anyways, let's see. So, age is just a number. What do you have to say about it, Nisreen?
We are proving it. Aren't we proving it?
Absolutely.
Do we need to say more about it? I mean,
no.
We just want more people to prove it. That's it. I mean, regardless of it, everybody's going to get older. But you have the option of looking your best. I mean, like, if you have an opportunity, put in your best.
Yeah.
And even when you're 50, you could just be the most rocking 50. And that's what we are doing.
Absolutely. So we are almost towards the end of the show, Nisreen.
Perfect timing.
Thank you so much.
So I just want to say that also when you eat food, it goes into your body. Okay, so whatever you put in your body is going to show. So
absolutely
make it important to see that what you're eating.
Yeah.
Is that what you need or not need?
So, do you have any online page or something wherein, people can reach out to you in case if they want to get some sort of advice or connect with you?
So they can DM me on my Instagram, which is Nisreen Parekh. And I'm the only Nisreen Parekh in the world. There is nobody because this is a Bori married to Gujarati. So it's a weird name. So you won't find too many. This is one easiest to find. Same thing on Facebook. Okay. You can DM me on if you have any queries. I'm most happy to help you out.
Right.
I mean, you could be anywhere in the world. That's fine.
So probably I'll add your social handles on the post which I will upload. So will that be
great?
Yeah. So people can easily reach out to you. Any parting statement for our audience before we end this show?
I want to say one life to live, every moment counts. You have to make it your best. This is what I believe. This is what I live. This is what I experienced. Okay, so I just sending it out to you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Bharat, and finding me and allowing me to talk to everyone.
No, it was my pleasure, Nishin, to have you on my show. I was thinking this for quite some time now, but all the slots were so full, and I was always, and I do this weekly, by the way. I don't do this daily.
So I'm going to see some more shows now.
Oh yeah, please feel free to, and because I am working, normally 5 days I am into IT. I am an IT professional, so I don't get much time. I try to do this every week, and this is also one of my passion. So thank you so much once again, Nishin, for joining us today on the show. It was really fun, having you today, and with the kind of lively discussions that we had, and I'm sure the listeners will definitely enjoy and take a lot of good pieces out of it, and they obviously can reach out to you in case if they have any queries, or if they have anything to connect with you, to take your advice. And I'll definitely add the social handle on the post as well. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
And take care, stay home, stay safe, have a nice day ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Bharat. Bye-bye. Bye.
So that was Nisrin Parikh, founder of Yoga Strength, an international physique athlete, a fitness and a professional bodybuilder at the age of 53 years. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the podcast show Candid Talks with Bharat V. If you like the show, please do like, subscribe and share with others. If listening on Apple Podcast, do not forget to rate 5 stars. If on Spotify or YouTube, do not forget to subscribe and share. इसके साथ हम आज का सफ़र यहीं समाप्त करते हैं. बहुत जल्द मुलाकात होगी अगले शो पर एक नए टॉपिक के साथ, नए लोगों के साथ, नए अंदाज में on Candid Talks with Bharat V. Stay home, stay safe. This is Bharat Vatsa signing off for today. दुआओं में याद रखना. जय हिंद.